right, everybody, welcome to today's episode of the podcast where we'll be talking about something that's very interesting and some would say very personal to yourself, especially since it's a personality test. Welcome to today's podcast. All right, so for today's podcast, this person has been someone that I've done a podcast with together previously, but it was when the setup wasn't as nice. It was kind of primitive. So without further ado. All right, Faith, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, it's good to be back. I'm Faith. Currently, I think from the last time I was on the podcast, I was still haven't started schooling. But
Was
now
it?
I
Because it
think
was last
so.
it was last year,
It was
right?
last year.
Okay.
Then now, I'm in uni now,
Yeah.
in my third trimester. I'm doing nursing still. Yeah, I'm doing it in SIT. Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
So actually, I think before we continue with today's topic, right? So I think let's say for those of us who are in university, right? When some of us let's say we're not very used to the term trimester. Can you explain a bit more about that?
Basically, a trimester means your one school term split up into 3. So if you're not someone who can, I guess, manage stress or even like be good at time management, not saying that I'm like great at it, but yeah, I think it's really fast paced. Yeah, like a trimester is made up of 13 weeks. So basically, you only have 13 weeks to learn everything, produce the assignments, and then that's the end of it. Yeah, so if you're looking for like the more, I would say like if you're there to really learn, I would suggest going to a uni with semesters. Yeah,
That would
because
be like NTU,
yes,
NUS, SMU,
yeah, because it really gives you the time to digest everything and process everything. But for trimesters, it's like kind of like you have to literally swallow everything and produce it out.
It's like I swallow then I vomit out again.
Yes, like I'm a Malayan lah, basically.
Okay, talking about Malay, I got a very funny story. So the time I went Taiwan, right? Then I think I was 15 years old. I went Taiwan with my extended family. So I went to the toilet. When I came back out, my aunt was rushing to the toilet. Yeah, I asked, what happened? So what happened was my cousin, she was drinking her bubble tea. Then someone said something very funny. So then let's say I'm my cousin and my aunt, right? She was drinking the bubble tea, right? Then I think my other cousin said a joke. Then she just the entire bubble tea with the milk tea with the pearls, everything onto my aunt. So my aunt was like rushing out, and
Oh
from
my
then on we
God.
called my cousin Malayan. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So I think since Faith mentioned something very unique about like how trimesters are very intensive, right? So would you say that how has it been for you? Has it been manageable, or has it been something that's very different from what you expected?
Like I think going in, I knew it was going to be stressful
Yeah.
because like uni is like a whole new ball game.
Yeah.
It's totally different from JC or even poly.
Mm.
Yeah, so definitely like
Okay, so I think for context, right? If you're wondering, okay, we probably should reshoot this again, but basically Faith went to JC and poly. That's why she can say from both experiences.
yes.
But that's another thing for another topic for another day. But yeah, please continue.
Where was I?
Very different trimester, very different from like poly and JC.
Yeah, I would say like similarities wise, poly deals with a lot of like projects, like group works and everything, which is like what we do in uni.
Yeah,
But then
definitely.
the JC part weaves in when you have to really be like constantly, I guess, revising what the lecturers have taught you. So
Okay.
in a sense, uni is like a combination of both of that,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
in a more intense level.
I think it depends lah. Okay, we
For
can talk.
me, it was more intense.
We can talk more about uni later because I think my uni experience is very different.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. So I think the main thing is because it's been so different, do you think like your personality as a person played a part in how you handled this?
To some degrees, I would say yes, especially like how you handle stress. Because like for me, how I handle stress is like I'm very I like to keep it within myself.
What do you mean? Like you don't share with people, is it?
Like I don't show my group mates, especially that I'm feeling stressed.
Okay.
Like maybe they would think I show it lah, but to me I would perceive as like
You never say anything.
never
lah.
say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would try to like behind the scenes handle it on my own.
So now it would be best if we could interview your groupmates, but it's okay, we don't have that luxury of time. So the main topic for today that we're talking about is personality test.
Yeah.
And basically our personality test an accurate depiction of who we are. right? That's the main goal of today, and to really
Mm.
understand like what are the limitations of personality tests.
Yep.
Okay, in no way this is professional advice. None of us are like
No.
psychologists. It's just more of our own experiences with personality tests.
Yep.
So for context, right, I think growing up, at least for me, is like we are very exposed to different types of personality tests. The most popular of which is the MBTI. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, MBTI actually stands for the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it actually breaks it down into four different categories. So we have the first one, we have extroversion and introversion. So extroversion, right, are people who are action oriented. They enjoy more frequent social interactions and feel energized when spending time with other people. So these are like your extroverts. Yeah, then we also have introversion, which are like people who are more thought oriented. They enjoy deep and meaningful social interactions and they feel recharged after spending some time alone. So introverts lah, basically. So they're quite straightforward. Okay.
Yeah.
So the next category, we have sensing and intuition. So previously extroversion and introversion, E and N, E or I.
Yeah.
Now is sensing or intuition, so S or N. So basically, this skill actually looks at how people gather information from the things around them lah. So like let's say you are someone who's a sensing person. It actually says that you are more focused on the facts and details. Yeah, you enjoy getting hands-on experience versus someone who's more intuitive. You pay more attention to things like patterns and impressions. Yeah, and you enjoy thinking about possibilities and abstract theories.
Basically more observant lah.
I would say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but more observant to different things lah.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think the sensing one is more of like what are the facts.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at what is in front of me, what is in black and white. Yeah. So then the next one we have is thinking and feeling. So T and F. So it's basically how people make decisions based on the information that was previously gathered. So if you are someone who's more thinking, you actually place a greater emphasis on like facts and objective data. So it's
Logical or
very
emotional
logical.
thinker?
Yeah, correct. So you tend to be consistent, logical, and impersonal. I think it's very interesting when making a decision. And compared to like what you said about being feeling, right, you're more likely to consider people's emotions. Yeah. The last one we have is judging and perceiving. So J and P. This one actually looks at how people tend to deal with the outside world. So judging means you prefer a structure, you prefer there being firm decisions versus perceiving you are more open, more flexible, and you're slightly more adaptable, I would say. Yeah. So all these are based on like the website lah. I just took it from there lah. It's not I come up from my own self one lah. Yeah. So okay. So to start off today, right? Based on so of course what we're gonna do now is we're gonna guess each other's MBTI. We did the MBTI separately. We don't know each other's MBTI, but we've known each other for quite some time. So how long have we known each other, Faith?
I think we were just talking about this just now.
Yeah, because we were like counting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like as in I first met you during J1, so that would be
Basically we're
2016.
2015 lah,
sorry.
2015.
Yeah, but then I think through the whole time that we were in JC, because we were in the same CG but different JC, so like there was not much like interaction.
Yeah.
So I think only during 2017 that we really got to know each other.
Yep.
And it's been like that lah ever since.
Yeah, and so technically we have known each other well, I would say for at least 5 years. So I think that's justifiable enough for us to guess each other's MBTI. Okay, come. So we're gonna start with Faith. Okay, Faith. Based on what you know of me for the past 5 years and everything that's happened in between my life, what do you think my MBTI is? Okay, we go step by step.
Yeah,
okay, we go category by category. Let's take a look at extroversion and introversion. Okay, you guess mine and I guess yours.
I mean, for sure you're extroverted lah.
Okay.
Because like the whole idea of this is made by you.
I mean, that's true lah. That's true.
Yeah, and I mean, over the years knowing you, you've always liked to, I guess, like, hang out with people.
Yeah.
Like arrange for meetups and everything. So I would put you in the extroverted category.
Or maybe I'm just lonely lah. Then I just want to hang out with people.
Okay, we put it that way.
I mean, there's always two sides to a coin, you know. All right. Okay. So I think for Faith, back when I knew you, you were more introverted.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think because of the circumstances, because of your experiences, I would say right now you are extroverted. So okay, so for this category, both of us are E.
Both of us are E?
Yeah. Okay, we don't talk about so basically the MBTI, right, you have different like extent, like different percentages. So we don't talk about it. We're just talking about what is the what category for in.
Okay.
Just for this purpose. Okay, come. Let's move on to the next one. Sensing and intuition. So a recap, sensing is like you're more focused on facts and details, hands-on experience. Intuition is more of like you pay attention to things like patterns and expressions. You enjoy thinking about possibilities. Yeah.
Patterns? What do you mean by that?
Maybe like how people behave or certain basically patterns in people behavior in how things work, things like that lah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then I would think you are a factual person.
factual. So sensing lah. S lah.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so I think for you it'd be more of not based. I think it's really just based on like the. Why are you checking? Double checking.
Yeah.
Wait, wow. Okay. But yeah, I think for you it's more of I think your intuition lah, and
Okay, interesting.
yeah, I think why is because you I think you're someone who's very observant. You think about you look at people lah. Yeah, you see how people behave, that kind of thing. Okay, but we'll review later. We'll review later. Okay, come. Moving on to thinking and feeling. Okay, so recap. Thinking is this one is basically like how you make decisions based on the information
Yeah.
previously gathered. So if you're thinking, you place more emphasis on the facts and objectives. So you're very impersonal when you make a decision. But for feeling, you really consider people's emotions before arriving at a conclusion or a decision. Yeah. So what do you think? T or F?
I want to say both though for you.
Yeah, but the MBTI don't have
Nah.
both those
Then I would say feelings.
feelings. Why?
Because like, I mean, I feel like you're someone who will take into account people's like emotions and like how they think before like really acting on anything.
Interesting. Okay, so I think for you, same thing. Okay, I think it really depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you mean by you want to say like
Right.
TNF because I think it really depends on scenario. But overall, yeah, because I think when it came to making your uni decisions, it was going to poly, it was really like factual stuff. It's not so much of emotions. But when it comes to like things that are not say less important, but things where people are involved other than you, you really consider other people's feelings. So okay, I'll just go with F.
Okay.
Okay, so right now the score is for me is ESF. Right. For yours is I
No,
and F.
E. You said E.
Oh yeah, sorry. E and F.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So the last aspect is basically judging and perceiving, basically how we as an individual tend to deal with the outside world, how we see the world that's around us. That's basically not anything that but us lah. Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think I'm someone that so for judging is someone that prefers structure and making decision and sticking with it, but perceiving is more of being like very open, flexible, and very adaptable.
Maybe you can go first. I'm thinking about it.
Wow, sis. Okay. I think for you I would say you're quite flexible though. Like in terms of decision making and whatnot. So I'll go with perceiving. Yeah. Again, I might be totally wrong lah.
It's okay. We're here to find out.
Alright. Okay, so what's your guess for me?
I would say you like structure, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, guys, just look at this setup alone. And I was looking at your notes just now.
Hey. I mean, okay, let's
I
be
peeped a
honest.
little
When we're
bit.
doing things, it's like okay, at least I think it really depends on what you're doing. Like, especially when doing something like a podcast, like you want to have a certain flow, certain
Yeah,
structure.
for sure.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So what's the guess?
I would say structure.
Structure.
Because
Okay.
like even in this small little thing that you're doing now, there's so
Yeah.
much structure already. So obviously it makes sense that you prefer structure in your life also.
Wow. What a Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock. Sorry, the sound effects very fun to play. Okay. So what is the current score? The current score is for Faith. So my guess for her is ENFP. That's my guess for you. And your guess for me is?
EN?
I think you said S. ES or your guess for me is ESFJ.
Okay.
Okay, so Faith. So my guess was ENFP. What is your MBTI?
Wait, is that the T and A one?
Okay, the T and A one we skip first.
Okay.
You just do this one first.
Sure. Okay, so mine is I.
First one wrong already. As an Asian, I am disappointed in myself.
S?
Did I guess S? I guess S. Yes. No.
Did you?
I guess N. Oh my gosh. I get a soccer. Wow, did I? It's almost fail. It's like 50% pass rate. Wow.
You have like 2 more tries.
Wow,
to
my
get a
Asian parents
pass.
would be disappointed in me for failing. Okay, come. What's the next one?
F
Okay, this one I got correct.
and J.
Bruh. I got like 15%. I got 25%
Go
out of
home. Go
100.
back to school.
Boo! It's like
Okay.
the disappointment you hear in your parents' voice when you fail. But okay, anyway, very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so basically I got everything wrong except feeling lah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, why not you guess mine?
I just did.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so you guessed mine. Okay, so Faye's guess for mine was ENTJ.
Yes.
Very close. Mine is ENFJ.
I passed.
So you passed and I failed.
passed
It's
the
actually
test.
we tombalik we swap around You got 3 correct, I got 3 wrong. But okay, yeah. So I think with that, I guess one thing it goes to show is that what others people perceive of us
Mm-hmm.
is very different from maybe who we actually are.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that I think before we were doing this, actually Faith said like she redid her personality test when recently, right?
Actually, this morning.
This morning. Okay, I didn't redo it, but okay, so what were the changes?
Nothing changed except the T and A.
Okay, so how did that affect your like, because MBTI basically when you do right, then they'll give you the whole profile breakdown,
Right?
So what changed in terms of that?
So in terms of introvertedness, I was a 68%.
Okay.
And then now it's hold on. Now it's 59%.
So you
It went
dropped down.
I
into
dropped.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then in terms of observant wise,
Yeah.
it was 58. And now
Okay.
it's a 62%.
Wow, becoming more observable.
Apparently, I don't even
Very
know.
good. Okay.
And then from feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, my feelings dropped. Oh, okay.
Damn. Which
From-
guy broke your heart that your
I don't
feelings
know,
dropped? Hey,
man.
JK. Okay, yeah.
It went from 79 to 73.
Okay.
And then in terms of judging,
You become more
went-
judgmental or less judgmental?
I became more judgmental. Dang.
You
went
became more
from-
judgmental.
I went
Oh.
from 54 to 57.
Bro. So your feeling dropped, then your judgmental
Maybe,
increased.
maybe.
I guess. Hey, this is no way saying they're like related or what, but okay. Okay, so I think with that, for me personally, like I think when I did this about 2 years ago, so during COVID, I remember it was COVID during the circuit breaker period.
Mm.
I did this with a bunch of my friends. So nothing changed. I was still ENFJ. But I think like similar to Faith, it was more of the percentage wise. Yeah, so I think percentage wise, I can't really remember what was the previous percentage, except I knew that my extroversion back then it was about only like 52, 53.
Oh,
And it's very surprising. Even my friends were surprised because
Yeah.
like with my group of friends, right? Like the three of us, we are like all extroverted, and
Mm.
their extroversion is super high one. It's like 60, 70.
oh my god.
Yeah,
Wow.
but for me it was like 52, 50, 53, 55 lah, around there. Yeah, so it's like okay, I did not know this about myself,
Mhm.
but when I did this test again, I think recently, my extroversion was about 65, 66.
Oh, so it went up.
So it
Interesting.
went up. And it's not like yours like dropped a bit. It's like
Yeah.
it went up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like why is there a difference? I think mainly it's because during like circuit breaker period, right?
Yes.
Like everyone was confined at home, everyone couldn't go out. And
Mhm.
I think maybe at that point I was just like, you know what? I kinda like not talking to anybody. But now when I go back, I think like in the past year when you go back to like hall, go back to school, go back you can get to go out with your friends again.
Mhm.
It's very different because actually I like interacting
Yeah.
with people. Yeah, so I think then it went out again.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think safe to say, the MBTI personality test, it is not set in stone. It's
Yeah.
definitely bound to change.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think with personality test it's very easy thing, like especially like for me last time, I will take the test like, oh, this is who I am.
Mm.
Yeah, but at that tender age, what I failed to understand was like, actually my MBTI will change over time.
Yeah.
Because as a person you're always growing, you're always developing, and as your circumstances change, you will, as human beings, I believe like we've grown to learn how to adapt.
Correct.
Yeah, if not, we still have tails lah. Yeah, but yeah, so I think with that, we're gonna talk more about whether we agree with what the profile says about
Okay.
MBTI about ourselves. So basically, like let's say for mine, right, it says that I'm a protagonist.
Mm.
Yeah, so protagonist, they say like he's a person with, they are called to serve, they feel keyword they feel don't know whether they are they feel they are called to serve a greater purpose in life. They are thoughtful and idealistic. These personality types strive to have a positive impact on people around the world and around them. Rarely shy away from an opportunity to do the right thing, even when doing so is far from easy. They are born leaders, blah blah blah. So these are all, speaking out for what, right? These are all things that generally describe,
Mm-hmm.
which I think are very, I think generally is quite vague lah.
Okay.
Yeah, but some things I
Agree.
do agree with. Yeah. So I think what we want to focus on is really the strengths and weaknesses. Okay,
Mm.
but before I go there, what does yours say about you?
Okay, so mine is a defender, and they
Wow.
say like defenders generally are true altruists,
Yeah.
meeting kindness with kindness in excess, and engaging with the work and people they believe in with enthusiasm and generosity.
So
Um,
does that
wow,
vibe with you?
I would say yes and no.
Okay, okay.
Yes, because like I do enjoy like helping people,
Yeah.
but the thing is like the way that they phrased it, it almost makes me sound as if like
Your Mother Teresa.
I saved the world.
Okay, okay.
So like in some sense it's like, wow, I'm not that like big,
Yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I'm portrayed as that, and I don't really like that. Yeah.
Okay, like it's over like exaggerated.
Yeah.
I think I agree in the sense that like, cause for mine they say like you're born leader, but again I don't think like anybody's born a
Correct.
leader.
Yeah.
I think certain things is with like nature versus nurture, and we can talk about that again in the future. But I think like very lightly and very briefly to talk on this is that like we said earlier, our MBTI is not set in stone. So I guess someone who is introverted definitely will also make some, it
Yeah.
will definitely make a good leader as well. It's not just
Yeah.
like someone's extroverted. Because I think like when we talk about leaders, I think the common misconception or the picture that people have of leaders are someone who's very out there, very outgoing, rara, always in the front. But I think at the same time with over time, or at least for me, I also noticed that actually there are quite a few leaders, and these are very good leaders as well. There are people who they're not say very outgoing. They definitely have to learn how to go out and speak and lead
Yeah.
a group, but they tend to be more they look at they're more cognizant of the emotions of people. I think that's what make them good leaders.
Yes.
Yeah, so I think everyone's a good leader in their right. Like this is deviating a bit, but I want to say that everyone's a good leader in their right.
Yep.
Yeah, like there is a group of people for you to lead for every different type of leader there are.
Yep.
Yeah. So okay, anyway. So going on to strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so I'll just very briefly go through what are the few pointers for my strengths. As a ENFJ protagonist. Receptive. So basically, even though I have strong opinions, I'm open to other people's opinions lah.
Yeah.
Reliable, passionate, altruistic. Wow, also got altruistic. Okay, interesting and charismatic. I think like
Do you agree with the
I
strengths?
kind of do agree, but I think like yeah, okay. So let's say receptive. Okay, I think like being receptive is something that I had to learn while I was growing up. Yeah, I won't say that I was receptive from the start. I think
Of course.
yeah, I think with I think because the issue is like when you have ideas, when you have opinions, everyone wants to be heard.
Yep.
Everyone wants to seem like, oh, I am the smart one. I am
Yes.
the one that like came up with this idea and learning. And I think at a point, especially when you're growing up, you feel that, oh, if other people give comments about my idea, yeah, it means that I suck.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, more often times than not, it's just, hey, it's a good idea. Then we're just trying to build on it, fill up the gaps, make it a better idea. Or if
Yes.
it's, let's say, not such a good idea, it's just saying like, oh, this is how you can improve it. So I think wasn't always receptive. I had to learn how to be receptive. Reliable. Okay, so the thing about reliable, what they say is that few things bother protagonists more than the prospect of letting down a person or cause they believe in. People with this personality type can be counted on to see their promises and responsibilities true, even when it's difficult to do so. I agree with the part where letting down people kind of bothers me. Yeah. I think not so much because like I want to see something true. It's just more of like because I don't want to disappoint people.
Right.
Yeah. Like I think seeing someone disappointed in me is like the motivation factor to be reliable, which is not what they're saying here.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's the difference lah. Yeah. So passionate, yeah lah, okay lah. I think this one applies everywhere. If you like something, you'll be passionate. Yeah. Altruistic, deep desire be a force of positive change. Kinda. Yeah. Charismatic. This one I cannot say. This one must someone else say. Do you agree?
What is the description?
Oh yeah, okay. Charismatic. Determined and inspiring, protagonists often find their way into leadership roles. Whether they're captain of their softball team or leader on the world stage, they rarely lose sight of their main goal to be a service to others. Okay, I gotta jump in and say I agree that the part where they find their way into leadership positions. Because since young, right, like I'm talking about primary school. Okay, I'm not bragging. I'm just
Yeah.
justifying this.
Yeah.
It's like primary school all the way to I think even university. Like in some shape of some form or fashion, there's always that I'm always involved in a leadership position. Yeah, so I can't agree with this. Which actually is very different from what we know as charismatic, right?
Yes.
Like what we know as charismatic is like, oh, like we see someone talk, then we're like, oh, we want to listen, want to follow him.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
charismatic.
Because that was my idea before you told me about it.
That was actually my idea too. Okay. So let's say we talk about the initial idea we had about charismatic.
Yes.
What do you agree?
Okay, from the time I knew you till now, I feel like yes. Yeah,
Okay.
because like when you speak, people do listen.
Ayo,
There's
thank you.
some form of like don't
I know, I thank you humbly.
there's some form of like, I guess, influence you have on people.
Mm,
Yeah. So I would say yes, you are charismatic.
interesting. All right, so let's go to the strengths of Faith's personality type.
So my first one was supportive. So mainly it's like I enjoy helping people and I share knowledge, attention, and expertise to anyone who needs it.
There's what again?
Sorry?
That is under what?
Supportive.
Supportive. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I agree with like the trait, but not so much
Yeah.
of the description.
Like sharing knowledge.
Yeah, that's not me. I don't like to, I guess, put myself out there because like, what if I tell you something wrong and then like the finger
Oh
gets
my
pointed back to
gosh,
me?
yeah.
That's the worst thing.
That's
Eh?
true.
So like I never voluntarily put myself in that position.
Okay.
But I would say like in general, I like to support people and like really, if you wanna do something like 100%, I will be there to like be like backing you up.
Yeah, I can vouch for this. That's why she agreed to do this with me.
Yeah. So the next one is reliable, which is interesting because when you said reliable, like I was like, oh, okay, we have the same thing.
Okay.
But the only difference is the description lah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so the
so-
thing about this, I realized that even if it's the same like word, right? The description can be very different.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's yours?
So for me, it's like rather than working in sporadic and excited bursts, defenders are very meticulous and careful. Like we tend to take a steady approach and ensure that things are done to the highest standard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, okay, higher standard I wouldn't say so, but I would think I'm quite like meticulous and like in general I like things done step by step.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
like plan things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like in terms of reliability, in this sense, like I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, in another sense that is not written down is like I would like to believe like I'm quite a reliable person. Yeah, like if you ask me to do something, I would do it for you.
Okay, I mean you are lah.
Okay.
just solidifying your like to believe statement. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with like the first two traits, I do agree.
Okay.
So the next one is observant. So
Yeah.
like we tend to like have a talent for noticing things, particularly about people, and
Yeah.
we pay attention to the smallest details of what someone says and does.
Yeah.
This one I 100% agree.
Mm.
Yeah, like I think I didn't realize this about myself only
Yeah.
until I read about this. Yeah, I realized that actually, I do weirdly observe things that people don't
Weirdly?
observe. Yeah, because like if you bring something up, like example, like oh, like today I observe you like do this, or like wear this, like people would
Okay.
think of it as oh, like why is she being so weird? Like why is she observing all the small things?
Yeah.
Like it can come across very like I guess unheard of and like why is this person
Unheard
like
of.
watching me? Like, in a very creepy way.
It's like stalker.
Yeah.
Imagine like most stalkers are actually your personality type.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I think I never really addressed this about myself until I read this lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it took some time to really learn how to fully embrace it and not be a creep.
I mean,
And not see it as
you're
like
not
being a creep.
like personally for yourself
Yeah,
lah.
because
Okay,
like
okay,
whenever
okay.
I observe the small little things about people, I'm
Yeah.
just like, why is this so important to me? And just like, I guess not having a safe space to also share about the things I observe.
because for fear of getting judged.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm.
So I think on the point of like, because you are someone who's very observable, right? So like, do you feel that okay, this I think like, do you feel like for let's say your partner,
Mhm.
which by the way, Faith is single, so yeah. But any guys will vet lah.
Sure.
But anyway, so like, do you want your partner to be as observable as you, or are you okay if you are the only one that's this observable to this level?
Oh, I think about this all the time.
So what's the truth?
Yeah, because like, wow, I would like a partner that's observant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of like percentage wise, like I'm
Mm.
okay if it's like less or even more. Like, I mean, if it's more observant,
I
then
mean,
like
more you
you know,
won't complain.
I won't
lah.
complain. Like very welcome.
Yeah, yeah,
But even if it's like less observant, I feel like it's okay
yeah.
because like he will make up in other ways also. Yeah, so like I mean, in the relationship, like people tend to play different roles also.
Yeah.
So like maybe in this relationship, I'll just be the more observant one, like
Okay.
taking notes of things that maybe he missed out also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right, come. Let's move on to the next strength.
Yes. So the next one is enthusiastic. So
Yeah.
it says like when the goal is right, defenders apply all their gifts to something that they believe will make a real positive difference in people's life.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this is quite interesting because I think like going back to what I said, like how they painted defenders was in a very like, you know,
Mother Teresa.
yeah, and I feel like this is like kind
The
of similar,
same vibe.
like overhyping it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I would agree with like enthusiastic because like
Yeah.
I genuinely am very like bubbly and like excited about things.
That is true.
Yeah. So, but then if you talk about like, oh, let's make a difference and a positive difference in people's life, I don't think people do that with that end goal in mind. Or rather, I don't do that.
Yeah,
lah.
yeah.
It's like I do it because okay, it's fun. I want to do it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Like the driving is
It's
fun.
fun.
Let's
lor.
go. It's not
Let's
like
go lah.
someone's life will be changed by this.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. So like with
Or at
that,
least not for everything that you do. Yeah.
correct. Yeah. So like it's not in terms of that, I don't really agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like the next one would be hardworking.
Okay.
Like defenders don't get their work done. They take pride in it.
Wow.
Like people with this personality type forms like an emotional attachment to the projects and organizations they've dedicated themselves to.
That's
So extreme.
That's
like
a
again
mouthful.
going back to the whole like overselling
Yeah,
of a defender.
it's like saying I join an organization, right? I'm here to stay, bro.
Yeah, like I sell my life to you, you know.
But let's be honest, like in the world we live in, the only way you get a good salary is by jumping around,
That's true.
or at least for corporate, huh? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
thoughts.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
100% don't agree.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I think my mom always describes me as a very hardworking girl.
Yeah.
Cause like I mean, growing up, I'm not like someone who are good at grades.
Yeah.
Like naturally not a genius, you know. So of course I have to make up for like putting in extra hours to study and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would relate to like the whole hardworking part. But then
Okay.
to be so like emotionally attached to
An
the
organization.
projects and the organizations. I mean, come on, like I like going back to like how I talk about trimesters, right?
Yeah.
My trimester is only 13 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think I will grow an emotional attachment to the projects I'm doing for 13 weeks.
Yeah.
Unless it really like resonates in me and it's something I'm passionate about.
Definitely.
Yeah. So in terms of that, I don't agree. Yeah. And like thinking about my future and everything, my plans are not to stay in one institution. It's to jump around or even jump within the institution, like change wards. So like to me, I don't think that I'll be someone that will like be so emotionally attached to the place.
Yeah.
I would more so like emotionally attached to the people I meet lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the place. Yeah.
All right.
And the last one is good practical skills. So like basically it says
That's honestly quite vague lah.
yeah, I was like, okay. Basically it means like this personality type offers the rare combination of an altruistic nature and hard-won practicality. So we don't just hope to help others, but we take actions. Yeah.
Okay. So it's just like it's more of like you are executioner lah.
Yeah.
You just don't just think but you do.
Correct. This one I don't agree.
Because you're just a daydreamer.
No, yes and no.
Okay.
Certain dreams I do put action into it.
Yeah.
But certain things is like, okay, I'll think about it and then like, I mean, procrastinate and like.
As with every other human being.
Yes, and then like at the end of the day, nothing gets done lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think back to the whole like, if only it's the things that I'm passionate about, then I feel like I would put my hand to it.
Okay.
If it's just like a passing thought, then probably more often than not, nothing will get done.
Understand.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So that's all the strengths.
That's all the
Okay, so
strengths.
now we're gonna go to the best part of every MBTI. Weaknesses. Okay, so for me, for an ENFJ protagonist, the first one, unrealistic. Although it says that many protagonists put pressure on themselves to right every wrong that they encounter. But no matter how hard this personality strives, it just isn't realistic to solve all of the world's problems. They're uncareful. Okay, so I think yes. Sorry, no. Actually, I disagree with this. I'm not very unrealistic. Yeah, I think even growing up, I realized that um, there's no way anything can be perfect, lah. Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I've realized growing. That's what I realized growing up. Even up to now, I know that there are always a limitation to what I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's always a limitation to how far I can push certain things. So, and I think it's like what you say about the whole very like overhyped thing. The second sentence, but no matter how hard this personality strives, it isn't realistic for them to solve all the world's problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm not looking to solve the world problem.
Yeah.
I think there are people who are better suited to solve the world problems
Mm-hmm.
than me. Um, yeah, so I don't really agree with this. I'm not very unrealistic, or maybe I think I'm not unrealistic. Yeah. So the next one is overly idealistic. So they say that protagonists tend to have clear ideas about what's right and what's wrong. They often think that everyone shares these fundamental principles, or at least everyone should share these principles. It can come as a genuine shock when people violate their core values such as truth and justice. Uh,
It sounds a bit extreme.
bro, this is like what the it's like this describes like some superhero like DC, Marvel. I don't know, but honestly I disagree lah. Number one, because like, or maybe it's just cause like growing up I've realized no lah, it's not true that everyone shares the same value,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone has different upbringing, everyone has different circumstances. Everyone's different lah.
Yeah.
So it never really came to a shock to me when people have different values.
Yeah.
It's just more of, okay lor, we got different values, then maybe you just don't hang out. Yeah. Like I won't be what blasphemy is this, but it's more of, oh okay lor. It's like literally like this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just this. It's like nothing else, just okay lor. Yeah, so okay, moving on. Condescending. Wow, touchy, eh? Okay, so people with this personality type enjoy teaching others. Yes, I agree with that. Particularly about the causes and beliefs that matter so much to them. Kind of. But at times, protagonists attempt to enlighten others may come across as patronizing, not the most effective strategy for persuading. So, okay, I think this is more of like wanting to impart what you believe, your values into others, not more of like, oh, I'm better than you,
Yeah.
which I thought was that at first.
Yeah, I mean the word.
That's the Urban Dictionary definition
Yes.
of condescending. MBTI, what are you doing with your definitions? But anyway, so I think again I kind of disagree with this in the sense that like, because I think this condescending portion aligns is like, it branches off the overly idealistic part. Yeah, because you, or whatever they say like, because as a protagonist you might be shocked that people have different values. That is why you try to enlighten people with your own values.
Right.
But I think for me, because I know that everybody have different values, everyone have different beliefs. To me, I'm not gonna force anything upon you. Like we can talk about our opinions, we can talk about our beliefs, our values, and things whatnot, right? But I'm not gonna expect you to believe what I believe lah, or have the same values as me, have the same viewpoints, because everyone's different, ma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is everyone having a different perspective is what and listening to each other's viewpoints is what helps us grow in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't have to agree with what you believe, what you say, but at least I know that, oh, okay, there is this viewpoint out there, there's this belief, there's this this other perspective. But the caveat is it doesn't harm anybody. Yeah, I think when it comes to harming people, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but I think okay, so I got quite a lot. Okay, intense. When it comes to self-improvement, protagonists are rarely short on energy or determination. Okay lah. Well, they may not recognize that not everyone shares these qualities. At times, protagonists may push others to make changes that they are ready for, simply they are interested in making in the first place. Again, it lines up with, because as a protagonist, you believe in self-improvement so much that you want other people to self-improve. But the thing is, right, I'm not very big on self improvement previously lah.
Okay.
But I think over time, like, so I've been watching this YouTuber. His name is called Matt Devella. Very, very, very amazing channel. He does a lot on like self improvement, self growth. And I think as I listen, it's like it's not so much of, oh, I want to be better than others, that's how I do self improve, but it's more of I want to be a better person
For other people.
for other people, for myself. I think when we talk about it in that way, then yes, I kinda do agree with this. But it's not to the point where I have to improve. It's more of I want to improve, but I recognize that change takes time.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest, like you know, like when we go gym, or at least when you exercise, there is no. It doesn't mean just because I did 10 sit-ups today or I spent 2 hours at the gym today, right? And then I'll be fit instantly. It takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is over time where like change happens lah. Yeah, so that's just my viewpoint. So I don't really think I'm very intense on this nonsense. Overly empathetic. Compassion is among these personality types' greatest strengths, but protagonists tends to have a tendency to take on other people's problems their own. A habit that can have them emotionally, physically exhausted. Okay, this I agree. Yeah, I think for the longest time, like I think like 2 years ago, I thought like to me was okay, if somebody comes to me with their problems, like just to share, right, then I must have a solution. Or I will keep thinking of how I can solve the problem.
Right.
Yeah, because I think like to me is if especially like if you're my friend then you have an issue, to me it's like I want to try to help. Then if I don't help, then to me it's like, huh? Then I'm here for what? Then I'm
Yeah.
useless what? Yeah, but I think over time I realized that actually I cannot solve the problem.
Yeah.
There's a limit. And I think also from my own perspective when I think sometimes when like I share like my problems with other friends, it's like maybe I'm not looking for a solution, it's just to get things off my chest. Yeah, I think a lot of times like I think that is what people want also. I think lah. Okay, it's just me. But from my own experience with talking to so many people, I think at the end of the day, it really helps when we take things off our chest. Yeah. Because I know there's this difference between guys and girls, right? Where guys talk about problems, we want a solution. But when girls talk about problems, it's just they want to just get it off your chest. Is that true? To a certain extent.
Most of the time for me, yes.
Okay.
Like I feel like when I go to a friend, it's not so much of like tell me how to solve this.
Yeah.
But it's more of like I know going to you, like I'm not looking for a solution and I know that you most probably cannot provide that solution also.
Yeah.
But it would be nice if like there's someone out there that can just hear me for like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So actually, that's the end of my weaknesses.
That's it.
Hey, what? That's it. It's like I got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got 5, yeah.
I have 6, I think.
Wow. I guess different personality types have different ranges of strengths and weaknesses.
Yes. So.
All right, come. Let's go.
Okay. So for me, the first one is overly humble. Defenders are so concerned with.
No lah, you so proud HK lah.
So defenders are so overly concerned with other people's feelings that they may refuse to make their thoughts known or to take any duly earned credit for their contributions. Wow, I feel like this is very situational based.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because for me, it's like I agree in certain sense. I feel like especially when it comes to things that I know I clearly am not good at, and yet like things were done perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then versus where I was like, I know where and how much I put in effort in this.
Yeah.
So I would take credit for it. Yeah. So in some sense, like I agree and don't agree.
Okay.
Yeah. To this weakness lah. Yeah. So the next one is taking things personally.
Yeah.
So this one is like although we may try to hide it, people with this personality type are deeply sensitive to others' opinions, and they can be thrown off balance if someone doesn't approve of them.
Ayo.
Wow, this one hit very hard. It's quite difficult to swallow, but I would agree there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it comes from a very sensitive point of view.
What do you mean?
like with being observant, right? I feel like it's a poison and a good thing.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yes. Yeah, because like you observe people and how they feel and everything, but at the same time, it's like the things that you observe might come back and bite you, and like end up hurting you.
What do you mean by?
Because like maybe like this day I observed this friend like doing something out of kindness for me.
Okay.
And then the next time we meet, this doesn't happen. In my mind, right, it'd be like, oh, did I do something to like make you angry? Or like why is it that it's different today?
So do you think like because you're so observant, right, that it leads you to overthink?
In some sense, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because I'm not as observant, I become an underthinker. But okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I think, but again, I feel like it goes back to the whole: am I insecure about something? That's why I feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to this weakness, like I completely agree,
Okay.
because like I feel like there are things that I am still not so secure about,
Yeah.
that plays with my mind lah.
Mm.
So that's why, like, when people don't do or say things or even say the wrong things, that
Yeah.
sometimes people can just joke,
Yeah.
but to me, like, it can be taken like a whole complete, like, different meaning.
Like you can just get twisted out of context.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's not that like I purposely like trying to find fault with the person. It's
Yeah.
just, I guess, something that just cannot be helped.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when like I like kind of doubt my own personal worth and
Yeah.
value.
Mm.
Yeah. And the next one is repressing their feelings. So we tend to be more private and reserved, and we tend to internalize our feelings, particularly negative ones,
Mm.
which can create misunderstandings in the relationships
Okay.
that we have.
Okay.
This one I would say, I'm get I wouldn't say repress.
Yeah.
I would say analyze my feelings.
Explain.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in the past, maybe repress feelings lah.
Okay.
So like I'll repress until something happens and it just like sparks and like boom.
So like everything comes out in one go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for now, it's like I realize when I take my own time,
Mm.
it's more so to analyze how I feel
Okay.
without being like hurtful to the people
Yeah.
around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to say things that I don't mean in the moment and then I hurt you.
Yeah.
But now it's more so like, let me take like time off to just, understand why I feel like that. And also maybe try to like understand in their perspective also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because I can say it's like a weakness that is sort of like helped me turn into a strength now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So the next one is overcommitted. We tend to feel a dutifulness to create situations where I feel overwhelmed, but I'm willing to relax their standards or ask for help. I would disagree completely with this.
Okay.
Yeah, because I am someone that if I know I cannot do it, then
Yeah.
of course I would want to ask someone else who I know that can do the job
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I feel like it's very irresponsible if I wait till the last minute or so to
Yeah.
ask you for help.
Yeah.
When clearly I already know from the start I cannot do this.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say I'm overly committed. So
Okay.
yeah. And then the next one is reluctant to change. Defenders are among the personality types that struggle the most with change. Breaking with tradition isn't easy for us, but because we place great value on history and precedent. I would say 2017 me was very reluctant to change.
Which we will talk about in the next
Hey.
episode as well. Okay.
But now I feel like change is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary, but it's for my benefit lor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like with every change there's just like a level up with the person that you become.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like with change, like you can take it positively, you can take it negatively. Yeah, so like I would say before that I always take things very negatively when it comes to change.
Okay.
Like I'll be so reluctant and just
Yeah.
like stay stuck.
Yeah.
But now it's like I know it's scary, but I will end up being like happier. Like
But you know that there's a good in there also.
yeah. So
Okay.
I guess now when you talk about change, there's a certain joy to expect from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, it's a strength. I mean, it's a weakness, then it's a strength, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the last one is too altruistic. Like
I realize the trend for your personality type,
Yeah.
right, is altruism.
Yeah.
Let's forget about Mother Teresa and recognize Mother Faith.
Yeah, so with this weakness, right, we tend to give
Yeah.
and we have a generous nature that can leave us vulnerable to being taken advantage of by others.
Okay.
I would say 50-50%.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in the past, like I was more, I would say, don't dare to stand up for myself or like put my foot down on certain things.
Okay.
Yeah, but now it's like if I know that like I don't want to do it, then I
Yeah.
won't lah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though like as much as I do enjoy helping people. Like I feel like now
Mm.
there's certain boundaries that I set for myself
Yeah.
just so that I wouldn't get taken advantage of.
Well, that definitely. Like I think there is always that fine line between like wanting to help people,
Yeah.
but also balancing for not really a lack of better word, your self interest in terms of like,
Correct.
because at the end of the day, like we can always help people, but who's helping us? And I think self care is important because when we are taken care of, then we can properly take care of other
Correct,
people.
correct.
Like I think it'll come to then that's why burnout happens for
Yeah.
caretakers also lah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I feel like a lot of people struggle with being kind and
Mm.
like drawing the line with that. But I feel like
Yeah.
to be kind, you have to be kind to yourself first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you are like what you said, the burnout thing, like if I'm already so like like everyone is like demanding for my help, then
Yeah.
I can't even properly help that one person.
Correct.
So in a sense, like I might as well don't help because the help is like not up to par.
It's like might as well don't. It's like 没有用 lah, no use lah.
Yes. So in my belief is like I rather help you to the best of my ability,
Yeah.
and to do that is to first take care of myself. Lor.
Wow. Well said. Oh, I love this audio, eh. Okay. Yeah. So that's all the weaknesses. Okay, so I think like I think we'll just bring the episode to a close here. But I think the main takeaway, especially from what Faith has shared about, like, I think it's very interesting how you point out like your weaknesses turns into strength. Yeah, I think that really highlights the fact that when we are looking at like MBTI or even any other personality test, I think there's a lot of types of personality tests out there. A lot of tests lah. But basically, it's like things can change. Yeah, just because the test says like, oh, this is your weakness, this is your strength, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be like that for the rest of like your life lah. Yeah, basically all this can change. Yeah, and I think very safe to say is that as humans, we cannot be put into a box.
Correct.
Yeah, we cannot be. It cannot be the point where like we say, oh, you are this, and this is who you are. Yeah, because I think even with the variations of even if there are 16 different personality types, I think the very very subtle nuances of everyone is still there. We are all very complex. We're all very different.
Yeah.
There is no way that two people are like, even if they seem alike, like on the surface, the truth is that everyone's still different. Yeah. So I think with that, like, what are your thoughts on like personality tests like the MBTI?
I think going back to what you say, don't put yourself in a box.
Yeah.
Like for sure, like I think when we were younger, we tend to look at this as like I guess defining who we are as people, because like at a very young age you always have this question in mind, like who am I? Yeah, so you go to things that provide you this answer.
Like, sign of yeah.
Yeah, but I mean I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, because like for myself I also like went to do all these kind of things just to find out a little bit more of like who I am, how I think, how I perceive things also. Yeah, but I feel like don't hold it too tightly. Yeah, and again like what you say, don't put yourself in the personality box. Just because you're like, for us like what defenders and protagonists, we might not be the same 10 years later.
Definitely.
And like even in the 2 short years, right, like from the time we took the test again, in terms of like the core traits, I would say we didn't change. But the percentage wise, we did change. Yeah, so I would say like the personality tests are like there to guide you, but not there to define you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so just take it lightly. Like it's quite interesting to read also other people's personality, and like I guess know more lah about the type of people that you can encounter. Just so to know. Yeah, but it's really just so to know lor. It's not to put it in like this is me, this is my DNA.
I think like what Faye said is very interesting. It's like yes, at the start when we were looking, we want to find answers to who we are. But like what you said, these are more of guides and not really answers. Yep. So with that, we come to the end of this episode, and we hope like you've taken away something from this episode, and to know that you as a person, as an individual, you are definitely prone to changes. You're prone to growth, and you always be growing as a human. Yep. So don't let what you read like define or limit what you can do, but use this test as more of understanding of where you are right now and what are the strengths you want to grow, what are the weaknesses you want to improve on. Yep. So with that, come to the end of this episode, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.